Ann-Margret Olsen, born on April 28, 1941, in Valsjöben, Sweden, is a celebrated actress, singer, and dancer whose dynamic performances have captivated audiences for decades. Her journey from a small Swedish village to international stardom is marked by resilience, versatility, and a series of notable collaborations. Her singing and acting careers span 6 decades, starting in 1961. Initially, she was billed as a female version of Elvis Presley. She has a sultry, vibrant contralto voice. She had a minor success in 1961 and a charting album in 1964, and she scored a disco hit in 1979. She recorded a critically acclaimed gospel album in 2001 and an album of Christmas songs in 2004. Let's start the video. Early life. Ann-Margret Olsen was born in Stockholm, Sweden, the daughter of Anna Regina, née Aronson, and Carl Gustav Olsen, a native of Örnsköldsvik. The family moved back to Valsjöben, Jämtland. She later described Valsjöben as a small town of lumberjacks and farmers high up near the Arctic Circle. Ann-Margret and her mother joined her father in the United States in November 1946, and her father took her to Radio City Music Hall on the day they arrived. They settled in Wilmette, Illinois, outside of Chicago. She became a naturalized American citizen in 1949. Ann-Margret took her first dance lessons at the Marjorie Young School of Dance, showing natural ability from the start, easily mimicking all the steps. Her parents were supportive, and her mother made all of her costumes by hand. To support the family, Ann-Margret's mother became a funeral parlor receptionist after her husband suffered a severe injury on his job. While a teenager, Ann-Margret appeared on the Morris B. Sachs Amateur Hour, Don McNeil's Breakfast Club, and Ted Mack's Amateur Hour. She attended New Trier High School in Winnetka, Illinois, and continued to star in theater. In 1959, she enrolled at Northwestern University in nearby Evanston, Illinois, and she was a member of the sorority Kappa Alpha Theta. She did not graduate. As part of a group known as the Subtle Tones, she performed at the Mist nightclub in Chicago and went to Las Vegas for a promised club date, which fell through after the group arrived. They traveled to Los Angeles, California, and through agent Georgia Lund, they secured club dates in Newport Beach, California, and Reno, Nevada. The group went to the Dunes in Las Vegas, which also headlined Tony Bennett and Al Hurd at that time. George Burns heard of her performance, and she auditioned for his annual holiday show, in which she and Burns performed a soft shoe routine. Variety proclaimed that George Burns has a gold mine in Ann-Margret. She has a definite style of her own, which can easily guide her to star status. Career. Music. Ann-Margret began recording for RCA Victor in 1961. Her first RCA Victor recording was Lost Love. Her debut album, And Here She Is, Ann-Margret, was recorded in Hollywood, arranged and conducted by Marty Paich. Later albums were produced in Nashville with Chet Atkins on guitar, the Jordanaires, Elvis Presley's backup singers, and the Anita Kerr Singers with liner notes by mentor George Burns. She had a sexy, throaty contralto singing voice, and RCA Victor attempted to capitalize on the female Elvis's comparison by having her record a version of Heartbreak Hotel and other songs stylistically similar to Presley's. She scored the minor success I Just Don't Understand from her second LP, which entered the Billboard Top 40 in the third week of August 1961 and stayed 6 weeks, peaking at number 17. The song was later covered in live performances by the Beatles and was recorded during a live performance at the BBC, recorded on July 16, 1963, and broadcast on August 20, 1963. Her only charting album was Beauty and the Beard, 1964, on which she was accompanied by trumpeter Al Hurd. Ann-Margret appeared on the Jack Benny program in 1961, Season 11, Episode 24. She also sang at the Academy Awards presentation in 1962, singing the Oscar-nominated song theme from Bachelor in Paradise. Her contract with RCA Victor ended in 1966. In 1962, Ann-Margret was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best New Artist. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, she had hits on the dance charts, the most successful being 1979's Love Rush, which peaked at number 8 on the disco/dance charts. In 2001, working with Art Greenhaw, she recorded the album God is Love, The Gospel Sessions. The album went on to earn a Grammy nomination, 40 years since her first, and also a Dove Award nomination for Best Album of the Year in a gospel category. Her album Ann-Margret's Christmas Carol Collection, also produced and arranged by Greenhaw, was recorded in 2004. Acting, 1960s. In 1961, she filmed a screen test at 20th Century Fox and was signed to a 7-year contract. Ann-Margret made her film debut in a loan out to United Artists in Pocketful of Miracles with Bette Davis. It was a remake of the 1933 movie Lady for a Day. Both versions were directed by Frank Capra. Then came a 1962 remake of Rodgers and Hammerstein's musical State Fair, in which she played the bad girl role of Emily opposite Bobby Darin and Pat Boone. She had previously tested for the part of Margie, the good girl, but she seemed to be too seductive for that role according to the studio bosses, who then decided to make the switch. The two roles represented two sides of her real-life personality, shy and reserved off stage, but wildly exuberant and sensuous on stage. In her autobiography, the actress wrote that she changed from Little Miss Lollipop to Sexbot Banshee once the music began. Her next starring role, as the all-American teenager Kim from Sweet Apple, Ohio, in Bye Bye Birdie 1963, made her a major star. The premiere at Radio City Music Hall, 16 years after her first visit to the famed theater, was the highest first-week grossing film to date at the music hall. Life put her on the cover for the second time and announced that the torrid dancing almost replaces the central heating in the theater. She was then asked to sing Baby Won't You Please Come Home at President John F. Kennedy's private birthday party at the Waldorf Astoria, 1 year after Marilyn Monroe's famous Happy Birthday. Ann-Margret met Elvis Presley on the MGM soundstage when the two filmed Viva Las Vegas, 1964. She recorded 3 duets with Presley for the film: The Lady Loves Me, You're the Boss, and Today, Tomorrow, and Forever. Only The Lady Loves Me made it into the final film, and none of them were commercially released until years after Presley's death, due to concerns by Colonel Tom Parker that Ann-Margret's presence threatened to overshadow Elvis. Ann-Margret introduced Presley to David Winters, whom she recommended as a choreographer for their film. Viva Las Vegas was Winters' first feature film choreography job and was his first of 4 movies with Presley, and his first of 5 films, including Kitten with a Whip, 1964, Bus Riley's Back in Town, 1965, Made in Paris, 1966, and The Swinger, 1966, and 2 TV specials with Ann-Margret. Winters was nominated for the 1970 Emmy Award for Outstanding Achievement in Choreography for his CBS television special, Ann-Margret, From Hollywood with Love. In 1963, Ann-Margret guest starred in a popular episode of the animated TV series The Flintstones, voicing Ann-Margret, an animated version of herself. She sang the ballad The Littlest Lamb as a lullaby and the literally rocking song Ain't Gonna Be a Fool. Decades later, she recorded the theme song, a modified version of the Viva Las Vegas theme, to the live-action film The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. While she was working on the film Once a Thief, 1965, she met her future husband Roger Smith, who after his successful run on the private eye television series 77 Sunset Strip, was performing a live club show at the Hungry Eye on a Bill with Bill Cosby and Don Adams. That meeting began their courtship, which was met with resistance from her parents. Ann-Margret starred in The Cincinnati Kid in 1965 opposite Steve McQueen. She also co-starred along with her friend Dean Martin in The Spy Spoof Murderers Row, 1966. Finally, she starred as the lead character in The Swinger in 1966 with Tony Franciosa. Her red hair color, she is a natural brunette, was the idea of Sidney Gilleroff, a hairdresser who changed the hair color of other famous actresses such as Lucille Ball. She was offered the title role in Cat Ballou, 1965, but her manager turned it down without telling her. In March 1966, Ann-Margret and entertainers Chuck Day and Mickey Jones teamed up for a USO tour to entertain U.S. servicemen in remote parts of Vietnam and other parts of Southeast Asia. Ann-Margret, Day, and Jones reunited in November 2005 for an encore of this tour for veterans and troops at Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada. During a lull in her film career in July 1967, Ann-Margret gave her first live performance in Las Vegas, with her husband Roger Smith, whom she had married in 1967, taking over as her manager after that engagement. Elvis Presley and his entourage came to see her during the show's 5-week run and celebrate backstage. From there on until his death, Presley sent her a guitar-shaped floral arrangement for each of her Vegas openings. After the first Vegas run ended, she followed up with a CBS television special, The Ann-Margret Show, produced and directed by David Winters on December 1, 1968, with guest stars Bob Hope, Jack Benny, Danny Thomas, and Carol Burnett. Then, she went back to Saigon as part of Hope's Christmas show. A second CBS television special followed, Ann-Margret, From Hollywood with Love, directed and choreographed by David Winters and produced and distributed by Winters' company Winters Rosen, with guest stars Dean Martin and Lucille Ball. David Winters and the show were nominated for a Primetime Emmy in Outstanding Choreography. Personal life. Ann-Margret has no children, but she was the stepmother of the 3 children of her husband Roger Smith, an actor who later became her manager. She and Smith were married from May 8, 1967, until his death on June 4, 2017. Prior to this, she dated Eddie Fisher and was romantically linked to Elvis Presley during the filming of Viva Las Vegas in 1964. A keen motorcyclist, Ann-Margret rode a 500 cubic centimeters Triumph T100C Tiger in the Swinger, 1966, and used the same model, fitted with a non-standard electric starter, in her stage show and her TV specials. She was featured in Triumph Motorcycles' official advertisements in the 1960s. She suffered 3 broken ribs and a fractured shoulder when she was thrown off a motorcycle in rural Minnesota in 2000. Nickname Ann. Gender female. Age 83 years old in 2024. Date of birth April 28, 1941. Real name Ann-Margret Olson. Profession actress, singer, and dancer. Nationality American, Swedish. Birthplace Valsjöben, Sweden. Religion Lutheranism. Zodiac sign Taurus. Ann-Margret education. Qualification: university dropout. School: New Trier High School, Winnetka, Illinois, USA. College: Northwestern University, Illinois, USA. Family and relatives: father, Gustav Olson. Mother, Anna Aronson Olson. Marital status: widowed. Widowed: Roger Smith, M. 1967-2017. Children none. Net worth: $25 million approximate. Wishing you and your family Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year. Amazing Life, One Channel by